NJPW, Ring of Honor, AEW, this sport, this foundation, all these companies, they all share one thing in common, something wrestling. Hello, everybody. Good evening, good morning, good night, wherever you might be on this fine day or tomorrow, depending on where you are in the world. My name is Noah Foster, and I'm a Simplin, and with me, we are reunited after such a long period of time. Boy, has it been a weird year. He is the leader, founder, creator of Team All Elite. He is the current Team All Elite AEW champion. He is one of my best friends. He is the Elite Hitman. This is Mark the Grid Reviews. Mark, how are you? It's been a while, brother.
I know. I'm doing good. I'm doing good. It's a big weekend. I'm definitely looking forward to a lot of promotions. So yeah, let's talk about it.
All right, well, why don't we go ahead and shed some light on one of your foundations that really has been bringing it back lately over these past few weeks. Let's talk about Ring of Honor. They just recently concluded their Pure Championship tournament and crowned their first champion, I think since 2006, if I remember correctly, and somebody I knew just felt right to hold this title. I'm so glad he won in the end. The Octopus, Mr. Jonathan Gresham. He overcame Tracy Williams in a very competitive final, and now he is the Ring of Honor Pure Champion. Not to mention, he and Jay Lethal, the foundation, they are the Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions. On the other side of the coin, though, we see other things developing among the world title picture and, of course, a narrative maybe, as we have the essential character now, EC3, involved in what seems like a feud with Shane Taylor and his crew, as he and them boys, the Briscoes, they took on these guys in six-man tag and lost. But then we also have the Ring of Honor World Champion right now. He has a target on his back, cited by one Brody King, who has been given very strong showings in NJPW Strong. While we don't know necessarily the full details behind all these bridging relationships, it seems like things are still developing between Ring of Honor and NJPW. They still seem to have those subtle ties. But give me your thoughts on what you think about Ring of Honor's return and what you think's to come.
I'm really looking forward to everything that Ring of Honor is doing because, like we were talking before the video, it's reignited my passion for Ring of Honor just in the Pure Championship tournament alone. And there's a lot of storylines that's going on that I feel like if they had, a TV deal or a little bit better situation, there's so much more content that's out there that's really intriguing to me. Like, supposedly we know that EC3 could be done with Impact. I think he's done with Impact. I think he's solely working with Ring of Honor right now. Of course, I'm a big fan of the Briscoes. And one thing that is important is the return of one of my favorites, Matt Taven. He just came back after an injury. And of course, he came right at it against Vincent, one half of Righteous. And I'm a big Vincent fan too. So it's kind of like I don't know, I'm a Vincent fan and a Matt Taven fan, so like I said, it's really intriguing. And we also got to think of the outside of the big picture. They have a new booker now, so without opening up a can of worms and explaining that whole situation, I just think what they've been doing with the episodes on Fight, it's just gotten. I'm intrigued. I'm ready for more. So that's how I feel on Ring of Honor right now.
I'm curious if they're going to continue their Monday night forum too, as they've been hosting the Pure Championship Tournament on their YouTube channel Monday nights at 7 p.m. Taking the idea of being exposed through the internet and social media, which seems to be the strongest outlet right now to get your name out there, keep your company going. To the end of the day, this is business. But I am very curious now to see how this all will pick up when they eventually return to television. And yeah, you're right. How could I forget? Matt Taven. He's back and he wants to exact vengeance in a new way, it seems. New character dynamic also against former member of, the Kingdom, Vincent, of course, who's part of Righteous. I also wonder how they're going to pick up what was originally being developed, but basically right now is completely back to ground zero, their women's division. Ever since we lost Kelly Klein and Miley Tommy, who were recently duking it out for the title, you wonder what happened with Benji the Love and the Allure. They did sign on some new women's talent, though. I really wonder, are they going to try and bring back the Women of Honor's division, or is this going to be more like we're bringing this person in as more of a manager role, similar to how Kenny King has been getting ahead with one help of Amy Rose. So that's just something else I thought about too. As far as the EC3 dynamic, he's being called the essential character. Who knows what sort of narrative he's going to bring to Ring of Honor? I think you're right. I think it's safe to say now he's slowly working with Ring of Honor because it seems like while Moose did drop his name on Impact Wrestling and he went to hell and back against him to get back what he felt like was his, and that probably was his dignity, it feels like EC3 was a one and done deal. Now, whether or not that was his own jurisdiction or he and Scott D'Amore had a short-term agreement, And whether or not that happens again at some point, only time will tell. But clearly, he's not out to pursue championships. He's out to do something different. And I guess he wants to try that now with Ring of Honor. So I'm very curious what is next for Mr. EC3, not Ethan Carr III, but the essential character. Third version, maybe? I don't know. But yeah, it's a little odd right now, but I'm very optimistic to where Ring of Honor's future goes from here, considering during this time, you know, they probably would have like a big time pay-per-view coming up or some big show at the Hammerstein Ballroom. Of course, that won't be a thing. So I imagine their next big time show is going to be some point in 2021. But where do you go after you crown your Ring of Honor Pure Champion? And how do you book Roosh versus what seems to be Brody King? Because Brody King right now has put his name out there in the hat. He wants that Ring of Honor gold. So I guess we'll have to wait and see. All right. In our Fades Wrestling, like you said, we do have a huge weekend ahead of us. And at the forefront of it are two of our favorite promotions. And ladies and gentlemen, in case you're wondering, this forum is Somethin Wrestling. We just simply talk about wrestling, not necessarily the biggest player, not necessarily the most known player, but necessarily what we watch in wrestling and what we know is to come in wrestling. And right now, as we record this, 5:12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Friday, November 6th, there are two huge things coming for us as fans of professional wrestling. And that's coming from two of my favorite weekly promotions, and that is AEW and NJPW. And within less than 12 hours, actually, too, we have Power Struggle. Power Struggle is supposedly going to determine what our true IWGP Heavyweight, IWGP Intercontinental Championship match will be at Wrestle Kingdom, and so much more. They got a nice, simple 6-match showcase that's coming ahead for us. Let's go ahead and talk about it. So our first match features Zack Sabre Jr. versus of all the competitors to give you wrestling anxiety, Toru Yano, for his KLPW 2020 Provisional Championship trophy. And the proposed stipulation by one Toru Yano that Zack Sabre Jr. agreed on is a no corner pads match, because basically Toru Yano is Zack Sabre Jr. constantly tying back up the turnbuckle pads, or trying to. I don't think it was a Boy Scout. Whenever Toru Yano tries to take them off. So that won't be a problem here. It's going to be exposed steel. Truth be told, there'll still be ropes in play, and I'm sure Yano will have more tricks in the sleeve. But of course, this match was also brought on when Zack Sabre Jr. beat Yano during the G1 via tap out. So can the same thing happen again? And according to backstage interviews, is Zack Sabre Jr. going to make Toru Yano tap out within 60 seconds? That'd be one of the fastest matches ever today, but I don't think that's happening. And of course, we know KPW 2020, you try and hold on to this trophy to the end of the year where you're officially crowned the champion. This is Yano's first defense. It almost makes me wonder if it will be his only one. Mark, give me your thoughts on this match. Is Toru Yano keeping this trophy, or is Zack Sabre Jr. going to get it and throw it away?
I'm actually going to go, I don't even know if you will consider this an upset or not, but I'm going with Yano. He got to choose his own destiny here. So he was able to choose the match. It's his environment. And as much as I feel like ZSJ is, predominantly, the better, I wouldn't say the better, well, the better professional wrestler, I'll say it, okay? To me anyway.
Yeah, I agree with you there.
Yeah, I'm just going to go with Yano because, and I like the whole concept anyway. It's not a championship or anything like that. So I kind of like how, I like the whole trophy thing. So that's cool. And it's right up Yano's alley. And he's done so much for New Japan, man. And I feel like he needs something. And I like seeing him in the spotlight. I like seeing him have this trophy. And I think, and you got to think, Zack Sabre Jr. is going to be tied up with the winners of the World Tag League. So he's going to have something to do. You see what I mean? So I think Yano wins there.
Yeah, because regardless, Zack Sabre Jr. is one half of the IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team Champions, and he and Taiji, the Emperor, Dangerous Takas, they will be going to World Tag League to defend their status as champions and potentially, like you said, determine their destiny heading into Wrestle Kingdom. As we just finished throughout the Power Struggle, and the biggest highlights of it were definitely the tag team divisions. Although that 6-man never overweight championship match was probably the best 6-man match I've seen all year and in a long time professional wrestling. That was insanely incredible. But I got to agree with you here. Right now, this whole KOPW 2020 thing, it seems like it was built for Yano, even though Okada's the one that originally proposed it, and was the one to fall for it, too, when Yano pinned him. So I got to go with Toru Yano holding on to the little trophy here, and what he does with it heading towards Wrestle Kingdom, who friggin' knows? But Zack Sabre Jr. has got more important things on his mind, and he's going to criticize the man and this trophy regardless. I got to go with Toru Yano winning, too. All right. when I look at this power struggle forum and I look at these cases being defended and these titles being defended, there's truthfully one title I do care about being defended on this show, because if there's one thing I love about New Japan Pro Wrestling, it is strong style forums and matches galore. Katsuyori Shibata, Hiroki Goto, Tomohiro Ishii, the king of strong style, Shinsuke Nakamura, Yuji Nagata, the list goes on and on. At the top of that list right now, Minoru Suzuki, as he once again defends. Well, no, actually, this is his first defense. He now defends the Never Openweight Championship. Whoop, dug it?
Yep.
All right, just making sure.
I was saying first defense.
Yeah, his first defense. Botch, excuse me. Yes, Minoru Suzuki defends for the first time his Neverweight Championship against the champion of former that he beat at Jingu Stadium. And these two truly cannot seem to stay away from each other. And I think more so Minoru Suzuki's having fun. Rampage Dragon Shingo Takagi. I love this title. I love this feud. This title fits perfectly on either men. But the question is here, does Shingo Takagi have enough strength and will to overcome the king? Because that's what Minoru Suzuki has been saying. You're too weak. You're not strong enough. Show me more. Hit me harder. Because the king, he wants you to hurt him, but he feels like nobody's been able to. He insulted Yuji Nagata earlier this year, and those two men went at each other for 20 minutes. He said like he felt nothing. So with that being said, clearly whoever has the Neverweight title following this show is going to go into Wrestle Kingdom as the Neverweight champion. But the question is, who's going to challenge them for it? I think it's too soon to figure out who potentially challenge next. But something in me right now, looking at the upcoming tours, I think the king, Hasaninare, is going to retain here. I don't think Shingo Takagi has enough in him yet to take away this title from Minoru Suzuki. And we not only have Best of Super Juniors coming up that we'll talk about briefly on another forum, and not this one. We also have the World Tag League. I could see Shingo Takagi and Sonata going after the Heavyweight Tag Team Championships. So just because of those various reasons, I think Minoru Suzuki is going to continue holding on to this title. I say Minoru Suzuki retains. What do you think, Mark? Does the king retain, or will the king finally fall?
Man, you made some good points there. Good Lord. I was gonna go with Shingo, but that was a good case for Suzuki. It really was. But I, like you said, I love this division. I love this championship. Whoever holds this championship, I love the strong style. That they're a total badass. And I think whoever wins this, they're ultimately going to face Ishii at Wrestle Kingdom. That's just my prediction.
I would love that.
That's just me. And I would like to see Shingo and Ishii for the title. But I don't know. See, I think Suzuki had a less than successful G1 run. I mean, it wasn't the best of runs, mediocre to say the least. He's the champion. So I think if he was going to have to take the hit in the G1 for everybody else, why don't they give him this? I mean, don't take the belt from his first defense. I think a good, successful win over Shingo, which I told you before, that I feel like he's one of the best wrestlers in the world today.
And
I think
maybe
a win over Shingo
you.
would be huge for him. Yeah. So I feel that, I wouldn't say Suzuki is owed this, but I think he deserves this. So I think he'll get it. I think he wins it.
You think Suzuki wins it? Okay. Yeah, and just to keep in mind, the reason that, of course, he also has this match with Shingo Takagi, Shingo did get the better of the king during the G1. But again, different form, limited time. G1 and never openweight title matches are two different things, even though both are sure to be classics. And when I think about who else Minoru Suzuki could have coming after him for the gold, you're right. He lost to the likes of Kota Ibushi, Rainmaker, Kazuchika Okada, Will Ospreay, Taiji, and Jay White. So there's a lot more opportunities for challengers towards Minoru Suzuki, and I'm pretty sure Minoru Suzuki still wants to kill Jay White. So everything right now to me feels like Minoru Suzuki, he is just starting with this belt, and this first defense will not be his only one. But as far as Shingo Takagi goes, he's going to bring probably his toughest fight to date. All right, now moving on, we've got a special singles match, and this is just going to be weird. But again, what is it going to take to bring out that old Okada in this new Okada for him to maybe get a big win? As it is, Rainmaker, Kazuchika Okada taking on the Great Khan. Great Khan coming back from excursion, literally costing Okada the G1 practically after he came and helped Will Ospreay, who decided to turn on Will Ospreay with, after Will Ospreay decided to turn on Okada and Chaos with the help of Bea Priestley, some Stardom influence now in New Japan Pro Wrestling. And now we've seen during this Road to Power struggle, every match possible that Great Khan has gotten the better of Okada and his partners, including but not limited to Sho, Gabriel Kidd, and Uya Yamera. That Mongolian chop, by the way, seems to be his most effective weapon. But overall, Great Khan has the power game here. Okada tries to rely on that money clip, try to do a post-match statement during the last road show, and he ended up getting destroyed for it. As Will Ospreay says, he's going to dominate you. No one can beat the Dominator, because apparently that's what he was on the independent scene of Rev Pro. So this is going to be a very interesting match. But again, I see the seeds being planted here for the bigger picture. It's got to be Will Ospreay versus Okada at Wrestle Kingdom. And it could be redemption or it could be his ultimate defeat. But can he get through this first? It doesn't matter if he gets through this first in order for it to happen. Mark, your thoughts on this match. Is Okada going to finally drop Great Khan, or is Great Khan going to continue to dominate?
I think Okada wins here, but it's far from over here. You know that. The big picture here is definitely Okada versus Will Ospreay at Wrestle Kingdom. It's going to, for the next couple months, that's what we're going to see. And I wouldn't be surprised after Okada wins here that they don't get in the ring and just obliterate him, leave him land, because this is far from over.
Right. And you wonder if someone new from the Empire is going to debut either tomorrow or at some point after the dual tours that we got coming up. But yeah, I feel like at this point, Okada's had a horrible year. He started off as the champion. He lost the double gold to Naito. He's never been able to get it back since. He lost out on the New Japan Cup. He lost out on the G1. He lost out on somebody who he considered a brother who he brought into New Japan Pro Wrestling in the first place. Of course, it wasn't the only loss this year when it comes to friendship and faction warfare, but I digress. But I feel like Okada needs to do something to give himself some sort of momentum heading towards the biggest event of the year, because he's one of New Japan Pro Wrestling's top stars. I can't imagine him not being on the marquee, let alone the card for Wrestle Kingdom. And he's tried probably everything else except for the Neverweight Championship. And honestly, that could be another avenue. But right now, it feels like he and Ospreay have unfinished business to attend to. And that has to be where we're going to Wrestle Kingdom. If he's going to get anywhere near Ospreay, he's got to get past his heavy right now, and that's Great Khan. I don't know what it's going to be by victory row, but I don't think it's going to be by the freaking money clip. He's going to have to find something more effective. Yeah, I remember a right arm lariat that was super stiff called the Rainmaker, just saying. But I think somehow, some way, Khan's going to survive Great Khan, because that's been the stories of his victories lately. Not really winning, but surviving. I'm going with Okada to pick up the win here. All right. Now, last year, or this year, you remember, at Wrestle Kingdom, there was a particular match that could have opened a forbidden door between two companies. And unfortunately, that didn't happen. But we know this. For the first time ever, we have a special case defense where literally we could be bridging two companies, as Kenta, the winner of NJPW Strong New Japan Cup USA, holds a certificate for the right to challenge for the IWGP United States Championship. His challenger, the ace of New Japan, Hiroshi Tanahashi. When it comes to Wrestle Kingdom, you can't say Wrestle Kingdom without Hiroshi Tanahashi. But ever since Kenta become part of Bullet Club, it has done nothing but giving him favor and momentum and the biggest moments of the year. With that being said, though, he's used this case against Tanahashi's head now twice, to the point it's about to break in half. But I look at this and I think about AEW, which we talk later. What could be the biggest match we could see out of the four men surrounding both the AEW Championship and the United States Championship picture? Right now, we got Kenta holding the certificate. Does he hold it at the end of the match? And do we look at this being maybe a history moment where, for the first time in New Japan Pro Wrestling, a case holder loses their case? Because we'll talk about that other case later. But this is the United States Championship. Mark, your thoughts. Who gets the certificate? Who's handing the Wrestle Kingdom to challenge for the U.S. title?
Yeah, that was exactly what I was going to say. I was going to say no one has ever lost their case. No one. Could this be the time? And you got to think it's going to be, it's going to be Mox versus either Kenta or Mox versus Tanahashi. You would assume, right? Odds would I say it would be one or the other. Maybe at Wrestle Kingdom. Which do you think would be the bigger match? Of course, we know Tanahashi is a big draw. It's the Tokyo Dome. Not saying that Kenta's not. Kenta's got a huge cult-like following itself. That would still be huge, but you got to think, what story are they going to tell? And I think that the answer is going to be boiled down to this match, obviously. And I think why have, the stipulation of the briefcase always on the line if they always keep it? Why not? I think Tanahashi versus Mox, that's going to sell more tickets in my eyes. That's just my opinion. So why not? Tanahashi takes it.
Yeah, I can't see Tanahashi not on Wrestle Kingdom, with all due respect to Kenta, who's already defended this case right here in America against Jeff Cobb. David Finlay knows had eyes in this case. And of course, Kenta, he dropped various losses during the G1 where others could challenge him. But due to the circumstances and the scheduling this year, I feel like this is a one and done challenge. You either hold it or you lose it. And Tanahashi's already felt this case in his head twice. He's not going to fall to it a third time. This is the first time this case has ever been defended in New Japan Pro Wrestling at Japan. This is the ace. He's going to do everything he can to make it on the Wrestle Kingdom because he's out to prove a point. Because he already said he needs to reach that level that Koda's at now, but Koda needs to pass him to become God with capital G. And we'll talk about that in a moment. But right now, I feel like the ace is going to surprise us. He got the best of Kenta during the G1. I think the ace is going to claim this case, and Kenta's going to be looking from the outside. Furious. I'm going with Tanahashi for the win. But speaking of cases,
and one more thing.
Yes.
One more thing for the Kenta fans, don't feel bad. He did win the New Japan Cup USA, so he did have something there.
Right, and it's not like Kenta's not going to be involved in Wrestle Kingdom. But again, you want the biggest draw, you're mending bridges, you wonder how this United States Championship match is going to even form. And I feel like right now, the bigger match I could see, even though Kenta versus Mox would be an incredible physical blood feud, I really like the idea of Tanahashi versus Moxley. Just saying, that's how you bridge two worlds. But maybe I'm just speaking ahead of time because we still haven't talked about the other show we're here to talk about. But speaking of cases, let's talk about the real case here that matters. As Kota Ibushi tries to finally beat the one man he has yet to beat this year. He's beating him formally because, of course, he beat him last year's G1 to win it, and now he's won it again 2 times consecutively. Kota Ibushi once again holds a certificate to challenge for the IWGP Heavyweight and the Intercontinental title, but Jay White wants to make history and stop his path. Is this the time where Jay White truly makes history, and for the first time, do we see a case holder lose the actual G1 certificate? That would destroy Kota Ibushi, who had one of the worst starts this year, losing both nights at Wrestle Kingdom. Or does Kota continue his run towards trying to be God with capital G? Now winning the G1, heading towards Wrestle Kingdom to challenge potentially Naito in God Help Your Neck. Oh, man. There's a lot of things to think about in this match, but also thinking about the civil warfare I see happening, maybe in Bullet Club. I can see that starting to form right here at this show. So right now, based on history, just history alone of the briefcase, I'm saying Kota is somehow going to retain it. Mark, do you think Kota loses it, or does he retain it?
Kota retains here.
He has to. I mean, no disrespect to Jay White, okay? The man speaks, he backs up his stuff 95% of the time. But Kota Ibushi right now is on a one-year story towards the ultimate in redemption and honestly becoming the face of New Japan Pro Wrestling. And I feel like right now, if he loses this case, that's all said and done. I don't ever see him turning dark, turning heel, or even joining anybody. Suzuki-gun tried to recruit him earlier this year. He refused to. He's never going to turn on his morals, but he's one of those weird entities when it comes to New Japan Pro Wrestling. And I feel like he truly would not be completed until he finally holds the top NJPW gold. He has to hold the certificate in order to have a chance to do it. He has to Kota retains. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, and another thing Jay White's got going for him is I would say he's the best heel in professional wrestling. I mean, I know a lot of people would say MJF, but not me. I would say personally, Jay White is probably the best heel in professional wrestling, period.
Yeah, it's hard to argue, especially with what the man has done in 3 years. I mean, recently I literally watched his match with Tanahashi for the Intercontinental Championship when he first came back at Wrestle Kingdom, when he came back at Power Struggle to declare he was going to take his kingdom, and he nearly did. Again, what the man has done in 3 years, absolutely incredible. And he really has redefined Bullet Club. All right, well, as it gets dark over there, let's hope darkness doesn't fall here and hope that this ends, because this is one trilogy that's just been absolutely freaking annoying me. Double champion Tetsuya Naito once again defends the gold against not Sonata, in my opinion, but Evo. Damn it. And we know Evo's going to have Dick in his corner, Dick Togo. This is the 3rd time now we're going at this, all right? Evo and Naito, they've had their fall ever since New Japan Cup, where Naito was distraught emotionally, and he lost to Evo, lost the gold. He regained it back at Jingu Stadium. Evo got some one-up, though, on Naito during the G1. Thus, he has this match. Yet I still feel like Sonata deserves the match, but that's just my opinion. I'm going to keep this short, sweet, and simple, not just because it's getting dark over there, but because I'm tired of seeing this feud. Naito has to freaking win this and retain. Any objections?
I think this is the fourth time we've seen him face this year. I'm not sure if it's the fourth or fifth time, but
Something like that. I've lost count.
I'm like you. I think this is the fourth time, but I'm with you. I definitely would have rather seen Sonata in this, man. I really would have. I think the whole Naito and Evil is starting to wear itself out a little bit. So either way, I almost feel like they know that themselves, so they're going to go out and give it 110%. And I think this could be match of the night. So we'll see what happens. But as far as my pick goes, they're not going to hot potato at this time. Naito retains.
Yeah, and then finally, this should cement our main event for Wrestle Kingdom, which might I add, 2 days again, Mark. Get ready, 2 days again. Our main event, it's got to be Naito versus Kota, and God help Kota Ibushi's neck. Just saying. But that's all for Power Struggle. And then as soon as we complete Power Struggle, I imagine we'll get a conference and we'll finally start off our World Tag League / Business Super Juniors 27 back-to-back day tours. We'll be back with bracketology and discussions. More on that to come. But for now, as it gets dark, let's go ahead and talk about the other highlight of this weekend. AEW bringing out their last pay of the year, possibly the biggest one to date. Full Gear, massive 9-match card here. And nearly every match is a championship match. We have a unique cinematic match, and we have two of the highest rising stars in AEW. One I never thought of that we would see. In an interesting grudge match, and they're on the main card. But let's go ahead and talk about what's really bridging the idea of companies partnering together in another way, as we have the NWA World Women's Championship being defended in the buy-in as current champion Serena Deeb, who I can't believe she did it. She beat freaking Thunder Rosa in an incredible match. If you haven't watched those primetime specials, you're missing out. It's the closest thing you'll see to NWA Power, which apparently will return soon. I've loved those, by the way, but the women's match has been my highlight. Anyway, Serena Deeb beat Thunder Rosa for this title, has already had one great defense against legit Layla Hirsch. Very impressive young athlete, been impressive with her since Josh Burnett's Bloodsport. And now she takes on a former NWA Women's Champion, Allison Kay, who is now a free agent, no longer signed with the NWA. And sorry, folks, the day progresses, the day gets a lot darker sooner. So with that being said, I look at it this way. Serena Deeb, she has been a huge addition and foundation to bringing up the game and identity of the AEW women's division. And the NWA being involved only helps this division more. There are many people that are still out and injured, and we know who we think should be at the top of the AEW women's division. This is more so a subclass look at what women's wrestling can do in AEW. Regardless, I have to think Serena Deeb is going to retain right now. She just got this title. She's on an incredible roll. I don't know where Allison Kay's future holds, but I feel like this is going to be a really great showing what women's professional wrestling can do for both the NWA and AEW. We're not surprised if Allison Kay becomes part of AEW. I would love to see that. I think Deeb retains. Mark, what about you? As a huge fan supporter of the NWA, you're the one that actually helped me learn about the NWA, along with Jeff Meacham. Please follow the Jeff Meacham Network, folks. I got to get your thoughts on this, not only the title, but this match. Take it away.
Man, what kind of pressure is Allison Kay dealing with? I mean, it's got to be the most pressure anyone could to have more like it's like her auditioning for another company on a pay-per-view. I mean, I know she's going to go out there and show out, but I think ultimately Deeb's going to take it here.
Yeah,
that's just my opinion. Though I think they're going to have they'll have a hell of a match. Trust me, but I think Deeb takes the win.
Yeah, Deeb is absolutely a phenomenal wrestler, by the way, too, and coach. And she's just come such an incredibly long way since, her former time in a different promotion. And right now, I'm just really happy for her. I'm happy for the NWA Women's Championship and the showcase it's got for AEW. I would be very curious to see who would come out and confront Serena Deeb following this match. Thunder Rosa, Camille, somebody else from the NWA. Only time will tell. But I have to see Serena Deeb right now. I think she's going to retain it. It's as simple as that. All right. So now we move on to the main card, 8 matches, and it's going to be a long show, and I can't wait. And again, folks, you can purchase full gear via the BR Live app or for international fans like in the UK on Fight TV pay-per-view pricing. It's $50 here. I don't know what that equates in the UK. I know it's much cheaper, but it'll be worth your time. Split it with your friends if you can. That's what I'm doing. Thank you, TJS. Okay, opening match, grudge match, as we look at freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy, who really has become a breakout star this year, takes on the Dark Order. Number 4 in John Silver, who really has shown us a lot, not only from in-ring, but character development, has really been a breakout star of his own in the Dark Order, carrying storylines and really showing he can do as a singles competitor. It's going to be very interesting, but in my opinion right now, I feel like Orange Cassidy, he kind of needs this win. I know the best friends are feuding with Miro and Kip Sabian. Orange Cassidy kind of like doing his own thing, but Dark Order is getting involved here. We don't even know what the direction of the Dark Order is at this point since Mr. Brody Lee lost the TNT title to Cody in that ridiculous dog color match. But it seems like John Silver, he's been showing off on both Dark and Shaw Brandy and on BTE. Things seem to be going his way, but first singles match, big time singles match from our pay-per-view. I see him being a strong showing. I don't see him winning. I think Orange Cassidy's going to get him, and it could be as simple as a mousetrap for all I know. Mark, your thoughts on this match? Who's taking it?
Yeah, two of my favorites actually, and it's actually been bumped from the buy-in to the. Oh well, obviously we're predicting it now, but
yeah, that's right. Two signed AEW stars, people. Moved from the buy-in to the main card. Keep in mind, they're both signed. Allison Kay is not signed, and this will bring light to the NWA Women's Championship and what you could potentially see in AEW's women's division, which I think is still developing. They got a lot of talent, but some of the best talent right now is injured or out. Chris Statlander returns soon. Shauna returns soon. But anyway, back to what you were saying.
I think Orange Cassidy takes it here. I think it's an honor to have Reynolds on the card. I'm glad he made it. But either way, I think it'll be a strong showing for him, but I think Orange Cassidy takes it.
Well, there you go. And then we'll see what's next for both men. It might be a continued feud for all we know. Again, we have no idea what the direction the Dark Order is. To think, when the original poster was sent out, it had Miro. It had Anna Jay on it, just to say a couple of names. They're not even on the pay-per-view. So clearly something has to be planned for them, I would think, some point down the line. Hopefully not Anna Jay versus Brandy, but I digress.
Yep.
All right, moving on from there, we have our cinematic match in the Elite Deletion as Matt Hardy takes on Sammy Guevara. At least this match is a cinematic match. It probably was already pre-taped. Both men are going to take extra safety in this too, regarding what happened at All In, yeesh, or All Out, excuse me, watch. I look at this bloodline feud. Sammy saying he's not going to be done with Matt Hardy until he killed him. I mean, these two go all the way back to the point Matt Hardy was trying to get Sammy away from the Inner Circle. And based on what's happening with the Inner Circle, maybe that's coming sooner than we think. But Sammy had quite a showing out in the tag match this past week on Dynamite, where he and Ortiz took on MJF and Wardlow. And I gotta be honest, I thought the singles match going into Full Gear, based on programming, I thought it was gonna be Sammy versus MJF. I really want to see that match. Maybe that's something to come post pay-per-view. But as far as this goes, this is a Matt Hardy creation. Are you really gonna bet against who most likely is gonna be Broken Matt? I'm going with Matt Hardy here. I'm sorry. And then we'll see how much this affects Sammy Guevara psychologically and maybe his status in the Inner Circle and the good graces of Chris Jericho. Because I feel some changes are coming when it comes to the Inner Circle in more ways than one. Mark, your thoughts.
Oh, man, this was actually one of the harder ones for me, actually, because I've thought so many different scenarios out. You got to think this is the nail in the coffin of this feud that they were hoping to have it all out. But either way, Matt did get the win, though. As many botches as was in that match, Matt did get the win. And what is he here ultimately to do? Put people over. And you got to think last week, Sammy kind of had like a baby face, kind of like comeback on Dynamite. Like, I mean, that hot tag that he had was amazing. And yeah. I just think that I think that could play into the MJF and Jericho match as far as maybe Sammy having to reincarnate himself maybe in this deletion match. But does he win or does he lose? I think I just talked myself right out of it. Now I don't, man.
Pickle!
I'm going to take a chance, man. I'm going to take a chance. I'm going to go with Sammy here. And if anybody said Matt, I would understand.
All right, fair enough. We also know, I believe it's going to be at the Hardy compound too. So again, it's going to be very interesting to see what happens here. And regarding their batch for fallout on the Go Home episode of Dynamite, similar to what Orange Cassidy and the Dark Order John Silver did. Yeah, this match could go either way. The thing about this pay-per-view, many of the matches could go either way. But I feel like this one right here is going to be practically unanimous because you're talking about putting people over. If they're talking about somebody that's been involved in AEW since the beginning that's put people over, it's the champion, La Demo God, the Million View Man, La Debonair, Dinoria, co-star Chris Jericho. As Chris Jericho takes on, of all people, we've seen their back and forth banter. We've seen the promo. We've seen the similar mannerisms. Eric Bischoff pointed out how they both almost are kind of prima donnas at this point during that town hall meeting in a way. And they practically might kill each other here. It's MJF versus Chris Jericho. If MJF wins, he is in the inner circle. By the way, hell of a segment, by the way, with the town meeting and the freaking political stance. We had Luchasaurus, Britt Baker, no, excuse me, Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, and of course, Eric Bischoff, asking all the hard-hitting questions about MJF's values in their circle, financially, mentally, physically, etc. And basically, MJF says he's going to do whatever he has to win. He got the win, of course, over Ortiz using Solid Earth and immediately attacked Chris Jericho afterwards as Jericho smiled as a Cheshire cat. He probably was looking forward to that. He wants MJF to do something crazy. What sort of craziness will ensue here? How many members of the Inner Circle will get involved? Will we see Wardlow and Jake Hager go at it fist to fist? Mark, give me your thoughts on this match. Is MJF joining the Inner Circle?
Man, this is and all these matches could go either way.
I told you.
But I'm going to go with MJF here. And just like you said earlier, there's going to be some moving around in the Inner Circle, man. I really do believe that. I think once MJF is a part of Inner Circle, I think some people are going to go their own ways. I think maybe Sammy might go with Jericho, and that's why Sammy kind of had a babyface run last week, and it's kind of like hinting to things. So little subliminal messages. You can kind of see it. But also I could build a case for it going the other way. Chris Jericho doesn't lose that much, and he's been taking a lot of losses here lately. You got to think, I mean, I know he lost to Mox, obviously, and it's been about 8 months ago, well, 8-9 months ago now, it seems like. And then, of course, he's lost Orange Cassidy, and at the end of the day, he's got to shine a little bit. I know he's here to put people over, but he's done a lot of that, man. That's all he's been doing since, when he first came in the company. He was a champion, obviously, but that was when the company was just starting, which it still is starting. But right. You know what I'm saying. Either way, I'm going to go with MJF here and try to keep the lid on the other topics. But yeah, MJF here.
Yeah, and people are also thinking, hey, maybe Chris Jericho's going babyface because Chris Jericho, everyone sings Judas. He seems to enjoy that. He's taking a much more subtle, calm, story-driving approach to commentary now. He's not so much putting himself over. He really is taking a different direction in AEW, and also he just seems to be having fun. So is Chris Jericho turning face here? Is MJF trying to take the Inner Circle for himself, form his own faction, like you said? Is there going to be Inner Circle warfare? When you think about what MJF teased about plans changing, maybe I should get some boys to back me up, similar like he did in MLW with the Dynasty, like Shane Wells points out. So yeah, regardless, it all surrounds MJF future plans, and it starts with him, I feel like, getting a win. I say he's going to win and join the Inner Circle, and we'll see the fallout following the pay-per-view, if not during the pay-per-view too. But yeah, I feel like the Inner Circle is definitely about to change. Will it be for the better though, especially with Santana Ortiz have yet to win any sort of tag team goal or have a tag team title opportunity. Just saying. All right. So moving on from there, let's go to the actual women's division now. As Hikaru Shida, the Kenny Omega might be in the women's division. She takes on Nyla Rose in just a standard AEW Women's Championship match, but they try and make it feel personal with Bigger Guerrero now coming into play, literally saying "excuse me" in Japanese, and Nyla Rose putting out her own knee strike. But for those that watch Hikaru Shida's YouTube channel like me, she just got a nameplate on that belt, custom made and put on there for her. And I don't see that damn thing coming off because, in my opinion, I'm just going to sum it like this. The next AEW Women's Champion has to freaking be the Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, baby. There, I said it. There's been nobody else in this women's division with more character development, more entertainment value, humorous or, oh, you're annoying, than Britt Baker. And they put in more into Britt Baker than anybody else in this division, despite its growth, despite the number and sizes with the recent signings and developments of Anna Jay, Tai Conti, and hopefully for me personally, Kylan King, though it looks like Red Velvet might have been signed too. I gotta see Hikaru Shida retain here, though. There's too many other opponents I see her facing before she drops the belt eventually to the true champion next, and that's Dr. Britt Baker. Sorry, Nyla, but Shida retains. Mark, any other thoughts?
Yeah, I think I'm going with Shida on this too. I was trying to come up with any reason I could to pick with Nyla. I even thought about, Vicky is a part, the Vicious Vixens. I mean, maybe it was part of Vicky's kind of deal when she came in that, like, listen, we're going to put you with this, and, this is going to happen, and you're going to win the belt here at Full Gear. But, hey, I just don't think I want to see, I solely picked Shida because of what you just said, Britt Baker alone. And I think that it's set up for Shida and Baker, you know, instead of having Baker versus Nala. And that's solely kind of why I went with Shida here.
Yeah, you gotta look at the epilogue here, and that's what I think when it comes to AEW, because when it comes to AEW, they do longer term planning. Hence their quarterly pay-per-view model. That's basically a big strength, despite the price. But hey, I'll pay for these versus, you know, if WWE tried to do something crazy like this, where you get 2 pay-per-views every month for $15, pass. All right. With that being said, thinking about epilogues, thinking about futures and championships. It doesn't get more personal than this, I think, as we have the AEW World Title Eliminator Tournament Finals between Kenny Omega. I'm not Justin Browers. I am not going to read you off his resume because that would be here all night, versus the Hangman Adam Page. Hangman Adam Page, he's nervous. He hasn't been this close to the title since, well, last year when you figure about where he took on Chris Jericho to become the inaugural champion and lost. These two were recently one of the best tag teams we've seen in tag team wrestling, just brought together with one of the longest reigns as tag team champions, dropping the belts to a team we'll talk about later, FTR. Kenny Omega seems like he's gone through a subtle change, much more confident it seems, much more in control, much more cleaner-like, clean start. And then him and Adam Page, he's more like the sympathetic babyface that still drinks, it seems. But I wonder now, is he only going to be stuck with that glass of bourbon, or is he actually going to have another championship opportunity? Winner of this will challenge the AEW champion at a date to be determined. I imagine it has to be the first of the year. I don't see them pushing all the way till Revolution. But regardless, you know me. You know my wrestlers. You know my favorite wrestlers. I look at one of the world's best professional wrestlers. I look at the long term, what could be literally a year and a half in the making. And it's because of that, and I'm just going to hold my suspension of disbelief for now. I have to go with the cleaner. I have to go with Kenny Omega. Even though he had the lighter journey, squashing Sonny Kiss literally within 8 seconds with a V-trigger and Woman Angel, while him and Adam Page, of course, had the harder journey, beating Colt Cabana and Wardlow. Wardlow was no easy task, by the way. Wardlow's very impressive singles competitor. And I mean, he had a great match with Pentagon. Kenny Omega did. That's one of my favorite matches from Dynamite this year. Too bad it was at the expense of Ray Phoenix being injured. That's a match still to come. And right now, everything for me, it's coming up cleaner. I have to go with Kenny Omega. And as far as what happens next with Page, who knows? Maybe he can go at the TNT title. But Omega has to win this thing for me and go one step closer to becoming champion. Mark, your thoughts.
Oh, man. It's just, you can see how things have come full circle from Full Gear. You've got to think, it's been a full year. It was Full Gear was the last time Omega and Page had a singles match on a pay-per-view. Was when, you know, Hangman faced Pac, and then, of course, you know, Omega faced Mox in an unsanctioned match. And, of course, when Omega lost that, man, he lost himself. That's when they started the tag team. And we all assumed that they were going to, you know, break up and that it would come to this. But they held the titles forever, and now it's all come to this. And I just think that when it's all said and done, it's all going to lead right back to Full Gear, and that's when they face each other. And I think Omega, I think he wins here. I don't see where, and I think that's going to officially put Hangman in the cellar, and he's going to finally hit rock bottom. I know some people thought he hit rock bottom before. He's going to finally hit rock bottom, and it's all going to build back up to the rematch, to where Kenny has already faced Mox, beat Mox. Now Omega's been the champion. He's held the belt. Now Hangman's going to build himself up from this loss, and ultimately they'll have a rematch at next year's Full Gear, where Hangman will finally win his first AEW Heavyweight Championship. I think you talk about long story, long-term booking. This is a long story, long-term booking right here.
Wow, man. Talk about booking the next year of Dynamite in advance. And considering that Pac did lose to the Hangman last year at Full Gear, and Omega lost his match, it does kind of seem like it would be a rubber effect if Omega wins here, despite the fact these two are facing each other one-on-one for the first time ever in AEW history. But I love what you did there, man. That is some incredible booking. So you very well might be onto something. But regardless, it has to start with Kenny Omega winning this tournament, and that has to come tomorrow. The cleaner for the win. All right. Now, this match right here, I'm torn. So I'm just going to say it, and then I'm just going to let you elaborate your thoughts on it. The story, the build, the respect, the rivalry, the desire. AEW TNT Championship. Mark, who leads with the gold? Cody? even though he is Rhodes, he just says Cody. Or finally, Darby Allin.
Man, I think Darby wins it here. I think he does win it here. I don't really have much to say about it. I know it's rumored that possibly Sting could show up and maybe be in his corner. But you know what? Every single time I get my hopes up for something like that, ever since, I don't know. I don't see it happening. That's just my opinion. I don't see Sting showing up. But supposedly, Brody was never supposed to have the TNT championship, so Cody's supposedly supposed to have it this whole time. I think it was always in the books for Darby to hold this belt. And I know Cody said that he was the ace, but Darby can be the ace. That's the thing. He can be the ace. And I think he's going to show that tomorrow. And I think Darby wins.
I mean, Darby pretty much summed up what he's going to do in that little vignette where he said, I'm going to run over Cody and become the face of TNT. Despite in his mind, he feels like they don't want me to be the face of TNT. Cody with an emphatic promo about, you think they don't want you as the face? You couldn't be more dead wrong, because I'm the one guy that stuck his neck out for you to bring you to AEW. I was the guy solely that recruited you and signed you on. And to think, AEW truly started in a way with these two, Fyter Fest. Literally, these two, 20-minute draw. You figure about how long before they faced each other again. It was the homecoming show. Literally, I think it was this January they faced each other, pure singles match. Cody won. Then they renew again in the opening inaugural tournament for the TNT title. And Cody beats him with just a simple amateur wrestling move. He is literally 0-3 against Cody. And right now, this is for the TNT Gold. And Darby Allin has been one of the most homegrown, organic, rising wrestlers, top-tier stars in this company since its birth. Period. Everybody believes he should be a champion. Yep. Everyone believes he should be a top guy. And he's contended for the top title with top guys, Chris Jericho and Jon Moxley. Just saying. And now we look at the fact that Cody brought this title back again, cause of the wrestling belt, cause of the ace belt, cause himself the ace, winning it off Mr. Broyley in the dog car match, which might again may have been traditional because he was injured, as Mr. Broyley subtly alluded to on Unrestricted. Even he was surprised that kind of happened to him, but he was happy with the opportunity that had happened. Again, folks, you want more of the real story? Listen to AEW Unrestricted. You will not be disappointed. But with that being said, I look at Cody. He can't go any farther than this. I look at Darby Allin. The possibilities are limitless. But he has to, for the love of God, he has to finally beat Cody and win this belt. And then we'll see how Team Taz maybe gets involved. They said they were going to have a president full gear. You know he and Ricky are on bad blood. Definitely those two aren't done with each other. Taz believes Ricky should be involved in the TNT title. Maybe this is the first story to come out of it. We know what Darby Allin can do with any competitor, size-wise. It doesn't matter. The dude's fearless, relentless, reckless. Freaking been endorsed by Tony Hawk and Steve-O. Just saying. It's Darby Allin's time to finally hold some gold. Darby Allin finally becomes TNT champion. I've got to go with Darby Allin. Gotta. Period. All right. Now let's go ahead and look at a tag team match for the ages. Regardless of FTR, who might not have been happy with the build, people have been clamoring for it. People have been wanting it. Now it finally happens, but under the weirdest of circumstances. One, we know one of the Young Bucks is legitimately injured, but he's going to go through with this regardless. And two, the Young Bucks have put their whole entire livelihood on the line, because if they lose here, like Cody, they will never challenge basically for the top title. And in case of a tag team, you have only one set of titles. They will never challenge for the AEW tag team titles again. So there are a number of ways I went about this, because first off, FTR are here to redefine tag team wrestling in a way they have. Even Aubrey Edwards has talked about how they've helped her be a better referee and understand the psychology of pure tag team wrestling. From the tag ropes to the count to just the standard practices of old school tag teams. You think about all the greatest tag teams today. The North, the freaking Motor City Machine Guns, Gorillas of Destiny, the Briscoes. The list goes on and on. FTR have got to be one of the top 5 tag teams of the last damn decade. And we haven't even known them that long, I think. But right now, their run, they do this brush of greatness. They've had multiple defenses, including against SCU and TH2 successfully. I just don't know. This is one of the hardest matches for me to call. I don't want that stipulation to be the sole reason why it's like Young Bucks have to win here. The Young Bucks are going to win it. because FTR's reign just started. And I understand the Young Bucks, they are EVPs. They are foundations of tag team wrestling. And the tag team wrestling roster is the deepest tag team wrestling roster on the planet right now. But something in me, I don't know how, time limit draw, it's applicable. It's 60 minutes, it'll be bloody insane. I don't see FTR losing these titles. And apparently, Tully Blanchard has been banned from ringside too, and he's finding attorneys on that. Something in me, though, just doesn't see FTR losing these belts. So this might bite me in the ass, but I don't care. I'm going with top guys. Retain. I say FTR retains the gold. Mark, give me your thoughts on this match. Is this finally the time the Young Bucks become tag team champions?
Oh, man.
Or they never get to be?
It's ironic. I've been predicting in my mind, like, I don't know if you remember, but I booked this coming up. It was actually when I was booking the story of the Four Horsemen coming together, but it always led to Young Bucks facing FTR at Full Gear. And I always said Young Bucks would win. And now that they put this stipulation on it, how could I not pick Young Bucks, right? But why do I think FTR is going to win this, man? I don't know why, but I think FTR is going to win it. You got to think, it's professional wrestling. In 3 months, they can say, you know what, we'll put our careers on the line. Give us another shot. You know what I mean? Anything can happen. And, you know, Cody had this similar stipulation last year, and he lost it. And now if the Bucks put it up and they lose it, it's almost like Full Gear's become like a gimmick. It's got a gimmick attached to it to where you're putting something on the line here. And why not use it? You know what I mean? So they've done it once, and I think FTR is going to win it here. And I think Bucks will eventually become the tag team champions. I don't know how they're going to pull it off, but I think here at Full Gear, FTR wins.
Wow, I thought for sure you were going to say Young Bucks. I remember your booking. I thought for sure we were going to be opposite. You bloody shocked me. But bottom line is this. I just can't. I can't see FTR losing the belts this soon. SCU would have had a longer reign than FTR. And Kenny Omega and him and Page held those titles for over 200 days. FTR right now are just a whole nother level, foundation of tag team wrestling. They would not come to AEW if they knew that this was going to happen, all right? There's no way they're going to end this feud this soon. Maybe, like you said, All or Nothing. Maybe that'll be like the next pay-per-view name for Double or Nothing if they choose to do that. They truly risk their careers because at the same time, you can't say Young Bucks without tag team wrestling. I can't see it of them going singles, and I can't see the Young Bucks being content wrestling tag team matches to show how great they are without ever having gold to prove it. You have the gold, you have the ability to call yourself the best. FTR have that. Young Bucks want it. I just don't think Young Bucks are going to get it because of what they put themselves into. Something has to give. Some sort of angle has to go down. FTR has to retain. All right.
And another thing, one more thing I just wanted to add real quick, just I want to hear your thoughts on it. It was actually rumored that at some point they were going to bring in, 6-man titles. I mean, so if it does happen and the Bucks cannot challenge for the tag team titles just yet, and they want to put off to where they put their career on the line to actually get them belts, maybe when they bring those 6-man titles in, maybe the Bucks and Hangman can go after. Maybe they can come the trios champs. You never know. So we'll see.
You did have that moment this past Wednesday where we had all the elite in the ring together, which I'm sure made people happy, but also this might be the very last time we see this because is the elite fine? Carol, you tell me, is the elite fine? Go follow her, folks, WrestleJoy. Yeah, and I know I've been saying for a long time, they should have trios titles coming eventually because, again, wins and losses matter in tag, singles, and trios action. And there are several trios right now in AEW. So honestly, that could be the avenue that Kenny Omega and the Bucks take if other things don't work out, with Kenny Omega, of course, being the leader. We've already seen it before where Kenny Omega was the heavyweight IWGP champion, while the Young Bucks were heavyweight tag team champions. Could that happen here, or could it just be a trio situation? And will it be Omega, or will it be actually Page? Will they, like men broken business, will Page come back together with the Young Bucks? And will they form a trio again and go after trios titles if they come to fruition? Only time will tell. Again, that's the optimism, though, of AEW. Nobody here feels like a filler. Nobody here feels like a pure loser that you go against. Anybody here could win, and any one of these matches could steal the night. But You want to talk about something real and talk about probably my most anticipated match of the night? It's got to be this. Real talk. Mark, just take it away, man. I'm giving this all to you. What is going to happen here? AEW World Championship. I'm not going to Justin Roberts because I'm tired tonight. Jon Moxley versus Eddie Kingston in an I Quit match. Who's leaving with the gold? And who says I quit?
Good Lord. I would say like this, you would never think that either one of these men would say, I quit. And that's the intrigue of the story. And they just had this matchup. But after that promo that they delivered last Wednesday, like, how could you not be interested in this rematch? Like, the intensity, the emotion that was behind that is why you watch it, is because after this promo, you care about what happens.
Damn right.
And you got to think that most people, would say that Mox is going to win this hands down. But after that, there's got to be a little doubt in somebody's mind that why not shake it up? Why not shock the world? Why not? The first two champions have been Jericho, big name. Okay, Mox, big name. Okay, why not have a indie darling be your heavyweight champion and just shake things up, man? And he's great on the mic. He's got tons of respect. Why not? But you know what? I'm thinking of the bigger picture. I'm thinking of, Omega versus Mox rematch and this and that. I look for every reason to pick Kingston here because I want to see it. But you know what? I got to go with Mox here. I don't see where Mox says I quit. And you know what? I almost don't see where Eddie Kingston is going to say I quit. And I don't think they're going to do he passed out or something like that. No. I think something's going to happen. And something's going to happen in this match, man, where maybe neither one of them can continue. You know what I mean? You know how physical and brutal Mox can be. We've seen the unsanctioned match he had with Omega. I don't think it's going to be that violent, but it's going to be along them lines. It will be along them lines, and something's going to happen. I don't know what it is. They said, it's full gear. Be looking for a few surprises. Maybe we'll get a surprise here. Maybe we'll be shocked, and you never know. But ultimately, for the predictions, I'm putting Mox on the paper.
All right, let me talk to you. Jon Moxley, PWI 500, #1 wrestler of the year. He's done it all. He's done everything. He has put this company on his back since February. Successfully defended this title against the likelihood of the Machine Brian Cage, Jake Hager, Darby Allin, and as you said, Eddie Kingston. But the surrounding thing about Eddie Kingston, he never submitted. He never said I quit, but his body gave out, but he still says he never said I quit. And then, of course, Lance Archer, who also Jon Moxley successfully defended the title against. He's lurking in the shadows. He has bad blood with both Jon Moxley and Eddie Kingston and his family. This I quit match means that Eddie Kingston's entire family, Butcher, Blade, Ray Phoenix, if he's not injured, and Pentagon, they could all get involved here, maybe even Allie. Also, we also saw Jon Moxley successfully defend this title against the Butcher in an exhibition that I was very surprised by. Everything about this match, though, momentum is on Jon Moxley's side. But that promo and that promise to Eddie Kingston's mother and feeling how real this feels with two former friends where one feels like the other sold out in a way and left him high and dry, while the other sold out his own way and became the ultimate thing he hated, that's evil. Everything about this match's drive makes me invested to the point these two are going to literally try and kill each other. Blood, sweat, and tears are going to be broken. And I just don't see the one of them saying I quit. But again, longer-term storytelling. Jon Moxley has an IWGP United States Championship match waiting to happen, okay? If he drops the title to Eddie Kingston, he can go focus on that, whether it's against Kenta or Tanahashi. Eddie Kingston and his family, they can hold AEW. While Eddie Kingston's an incredible mouthpiece, he is professional wrestling and defines himself for the boys, for the brothers, for independent wrestling. He refuses to call himself a sports entertainer, nor be affiliated with that term. He is pure and true to that art. Simple as that. This match is truly going to come down to one man being unable to breathe. Because I don't care how many people get involved here, whether it's Team Taz, Lance Archer, the family, or some sort of outside influence. Could be Kenta for all I know. Because if Kenta successfully defends his briefcase, he can come on a plane and freaking come over here and try to cause Moxley that title, if that happens. And Pac is also way in the wings, who has bad blood with both these men, with the fact that Eddie took away his Death Triangle compadres, the Lucha Brothers, and Moxley and Pac have unfinished business ever since their match went to a time limit draw on Dynamite. There are so many surrounding outside forces that could define this match outcome or the epilogue, because I don't see this simply ending on a guy that holds the belt at the end. But either man could hold the belt. If Kenny Omega loses, you build that madness exhibition where Kenny Omega and Jon Moxley, they go after each other, and Heyman and Page goes for the ultimate opportunity again against the most unlikely of adversaries, Eddie Kingston, who he has yet to face. This match could go either way, but the bottom line, I feel, is this come the end of the night. Like with Darby Allin, he's going to embrace Eddie Kingston, say that he maybe is sorry for what he did, loves him, man, like a true brother. Jon Moxley retains the AEW World Championship and goes on to face, in my opinion, the guy that will show up at the end of the night and shock the world, Hiroshi Tanahashi, for the IWGP United States Championship. And we'll see if Jon Moxley literally gets ballsy enough and Tony Khan allows it to the point Tanahashi can not only become United States champion, but maybe the AEW World Champion. That's how you change the world. But regardless, I am saying Jon Moxley retains this belt some way, somehow, within an inch of his life. And I cannot wait for this match and this pay-per-view and this settling rivalry between two former friends, now truly bitter enemies. That promo I've watched like 15 damn times. I'm going to watch it after we're done here. Man, real talk, loved it. And we have a countdown special that will give us more on this and Full Gear 2 literally within 5 hours. So I think with that being said, I think we're done here for now, unless you have any further questions or surprises on your mind for Full Gear. Because I honestly can't think of anything else, but I can't wait for this pay-per-view and Power Struggle tomorrow morning. Both of them have to go off each other, that's for sure.
Yeah, I do want to say, before you put my final picks, I might switch. I will let you know by the end of the night. I might switch my Sheeta versus Nyla Rose. I was 50-50 on that. I know I said Sheeta, but I might go with Nyla. I will let you know before I go to bed tonight, but within the next hour or so. But I gotta just think a little bit more on that one, man. You know, I don't know what it is.
Ashley, Gina, other people have not got me the picks yet. You set the deadline. As far as I'm concerned, if you guys give me your picks before buy-in, I got you covered, bro. And good luck to you. That's all I gotta say to that. And let's just enjoy the last pay-per-view of the year for AEW. One thing's for damn sure. This pay-per-view is gonna define what AEW is gonna bring in 2021. And I can't wait. TikTok.
Absolutely.
With that being said, this was not an actual show. This was just two friends talking. This was Somethin Wrestling. I thank you all for tuning in. Mark, a pleasure, my brother. Is there anything you want to plug or promote? Where can people find you to talk wrestling?
You can find me on Twitter at Mark Griffith 2, and of course on Facebook, Team All Elite and Team New Japan Pro Wrestling. And yeah, that's it. It's a big weekend. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, and we definitely got to come together again, talk more things wrestling. Maybe we've got more daylight. We'll see what Sunday brings, or maybe we'll set up something too. But folks, you want us to talk something wrestling or talk more wrestling, look him up, look me up. It's as simple as this when it comes to me. I'm just a simple man and a lifelong fan of ... wrestling and all of its forms and all of its adversaries and all of its criticism. I just enjoy wrestling. Simple as that. So look me up on Twitter and Foster9016. Simple YouTube channel, youtube.com/C/NoFoster210. Follow the Team All League Facebook page. Support my friend Sean Boley. We want wrestling talk. Support Jim Meacham Network, Greg Cherrybrand. Support NoDQ. Support WrestleJoy. It's the most positive forum you will ever find in wrestling communities too. I absolutely love it. Thank you, Amy and Andy. As always, support independent wrestling folks. And I always like to close. Support your wrestling outlets, big and small. Let's keep growing this incredible, diverse, unique, elite, authentic, unscripted, unrestricted wrestling community together. Simple as that. And shout out to our third that couldn't be here. She's on assignment. Just kidding. The lovely indie darling, Cindy G. Please follow her podcast in the Stratosphere and follow the Bulletcast. Cindy, good luck to you. You're going down. But until next time, we're done here. So please like, share, subscribe, comment, tell a friend. Let us know what excites you in wrestling. And that beautiful piece of gold is also on the line too. I look forward to adding that to my collection. But until next time, take care, enjoy life. Tomorrow's never guaranteed. Treasure your families. Enjoy wrestling. Wear a mask over your face and nose. Take this seriously. Find some positivity in your life. We will get through this together. I wish you all nothing but the best. And until next time we come together for Simplin Somethin Wrestling. Goodbye and have a good night. I want that. That's vicious. Fishes. Bye, everybody.